Hi everyone, I'm Harold.
And I'm Brayden.
And we're here
to talk trikes.
And quads too.
Yeah, this is a special episode. A lot of what we do down here at Utah Trikes is build quads. Either quad conversion or full custom builds. We got the guy for it. So like we said, this is a special episode. We have our team lead, Hayden, here with us.
So I'm the team lead of the quad department here at Utah Trikes. That's a big part of what we do here. Because we actually have we manufacture quads for Not a Wheelchair, and then we also have our own eQuad.
Right.
And we do all the design, the welding, the fabrication, all of that here in-house. So big part of my job is just keeping everybody busy, keeping an eye on everybody, making sure we got all our production going smoothly, getting our pre-assemblies done before we jump into a build. There's a lot of pre-assembly to do.
Also take care of some of the key quality assurance on the right towards the end.
Yeah, so when the guys are finished building, they'll give it to me and I'll run through it and do a quality check on it.
Maybe just interject. I mean, you QA right after they're built, but it doesn't stop there. I mean, if the customer has problems, you're typically the person I'm going to hand them to.
Yeah.
You're the most knowledgeable. You're always ready to help them. So
yeah, doing customer service.
You know, we might be called Utah Trikes guys, but little known fact, we've been building quads for about 18 years. That started out with trike to quad conversions. That's where we take up any number of trikes that we have here. We'd custom fabricate brackets, the rear ends, and turn them into a quad. Now, the question for you guys is, why would someone want to get a quad over a trike?
Well, they would be more stable. You got less tipping, especially with the Cat 4s, Cat Trike conversions. And then it also allows you to put a big rack on the back if you wanted to haul anything.
We get that all the time where people are like, I have to go commute to the grocery store.
Exactly.
For one reason or another, I can't use a car anymore and I need something to commute with. Those are a great option to take any of the trikes we have, well, most of the trikes we have here, and we'll get into that. And even any trikes that you might have, if you're brave, you can do the conversion yourself and be able to make yourself a little commuter.
And higher weight capacity, more stability. Any downsides you can think of? I mean, right off the bat, I come to like transporting a quad.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, these are bigger.
It's just it's a bigger footprint, that's for sure.
Is there any more maintenance involved with the quad than you would with a trike? Any argument to be made there?
Not too bad. It just adds an axle with a differential in there, and that's just something that you just want to make sure that bearings aren't getting real dirty and dry, and all the set screws that securing everything on the axle is.
We've been doing this for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully we've come up with some design that's pretty bulletproof.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
The bulk, other than the custom components we make here, like the axles and everything, would you say that the bulk of what goes into a quad are parts that someone could find at a bike shop if they needed to get a quick replacement? What I'm talking about is like the chain.
Yeah. When it comes, so a lot of it is just, especially like the chains. Yeah, it's a lot of bike parts, and the brakes are all bike parts. We do a lot of custom parts though for our conversions and the quads themselves. Like we make our own sprockets and sprocket mounts and axles and things. But it is nice because a lot of the stuff that needs to be maintained or replaced is kind of just general bike parts. Like
for sure.
There's opportunity to be able to do what you want and kind of customize it with different parts that are whether brakes or chains or sprockets.
Right, yeah, we make our quads all modular here, so like any of the trikes that we have here, you guys already know how custom they can be. It's the same story, if not more, with our trike to quad conversions and of course our eQuads as well.
Well, we keep talking about trike to quad conversions, and you mentioned we have a couple kits made for specific models of trikes.
Sure.
What trike models can we convert to a quad? I mean, at this time we have kits for them. We can do it. What are those?
Those are going to be all of the Cat Trike models. Those are all going to have a quad conversion kit. And then also, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the EcoTad is the only other model outside of Cat Trike that we offer a quad conversion kit to as well. those are just some of the most popular trikes that we have and that we've been working at for this long time. Those are quad conversions that we've been able to make and feel the most comfortable with working on.
Yeah, there's a lot of trike models that we can convert to quads. The only models that we do not do quad conversions are rear suspension quads. So that being like the Cat Trike Dumont or a lot of the European trike models that have rear suspension. It just doesn't. We're just not doing that at this time.
We've had pretty mixed results.
Right.
I mean, we've done it, but I wouldn't recommend.
We've done lots of one-off quads, just custom things for customers that have come to us, and so we've made it work on many different things. We've had better success than other times, so we've kind of used that feedback and that experience from doing these custom things to really kind of just hone it in and be like, these are the models we want and what works really well. Yeah.
You mentioned earlier the custom differential we had made for these quads. And took us a long time, tried a lot of things out. A lot of the things that existed already simply wouldn't work for the purpose we were trying to use.
Just too light, or the bike was or the quad was too light, or the differential wasn't strong enough, so it would break on us.
Yeah, pushing too much torque and power through it, so we were either breaking the differential, quad rear end doesn't weigh enough, so you'd spin out all the time.
Yeah.
So the interesting about our custom differential, right, if the whole thing picks up and loses traction, kind of acts as a through axle.
Yeah.
So you don't lose that traction.
Yeah.
At least the wheels keep spinning.
Yeah, it prevents it from really slipping, especially when you need it the most. And we do have some quads that are solid axle, and we have some that are differential as well. The difference being, so like with a differential, it doesn't have the ability to go in reverse, which some people would like that with their quads, especially if we use a hub motor in the quads. They're able to go in reverse, but if you have that differential back there, it'll just free wheel spin. So some we have solid axle.
Because I know people are going to ask, I mean, what you're on the quad, you're riding it around. What's going to be the feel? I mean, what's going to feel different about a solid axle and a differential?
That just limits the turning radius a little bit.
And that's going to be like not a wheelchair quads that have a solid axle and the hub motor.
Yeah, mainly just the turning radius. Like it would be hard to tell if you hadn't ridden both.
Sure.
But yeah, you just will feel yourself not being able to turn as sharp is all. And that's really all.
I mean, both wheels are spinning evenly, I assume, with the solid axle.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're going to turn on an angle that's sharp, this wheel's got to turn a lot slower now than the outside wheel. Solid axle's not going to let you do that.
And with the solid axle versus differential, the biggest thing is the tires. Or most of the quads we build have fat, knobby tires on them, intended to be off-road. So what a lot of customers might experience is if you're riding a lot on pavement with the knobby tires, that's the biggest thing you're going to feel versus solid axle, differential. That's to the side when really you're going to feel the tires, because those knobby tires, like if you're riding on pavement a lot, you're going to notice the wear on the tires. They're going to wear out a lot faster than if you're just riding off road how they're intended. So that's a big thing to watch out for, is think about what kind of riding you're going to be doing and choosing the right kind of tire.
And me and him are at least talking to customers all the time, right? Do that purchasing process. One of the big things that is immediate, hey, are you going to be riding this off road? You're going to be taking it on road. A lot of that is the tire wear, because I know 3-6 months from now you're going to call me and say these tires are worn out. What's wrong with them?
And I've talked to people.
I know you have. That's why I'm bringing it up.
I say, do you ride it off road? And they're like, no, I almost exclusively on the street. So it's like, let's get you some street tires.
Yeah. You need tires that don't sink into the concrete.
Right.
They're trying to rip themselves apart.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Hayden, you mentioned some pretty specific use cases with the solid axle. Mainly we use those on our Knox with the hub motor, so you can have reverse. What are some other use cases for having a solid axle on a quad?
Yeah, so lately we've been doing a lot of testing with different motors and gearing that we're pretty excited about. So in our experience from testing out these different motors and different gearing on it, we've tried a mid-drive motor, and we've been testing the Inviolo automatic for the automatic shifting. And really with the solid axle, yes, we have the not a wheelchair, and like the main reason is so that the reverse works with the hub motor. But really, like if you're doing most of your riding off-road, the solid axle is kind of the way to go, because you just know that you have both wheels always going at all times. Really, you really only notice it the most is if you're trying to make a sharp turn in a parking lot or something with the knobby tires, and you can just really feel them fighting against you. But really, yeah, like, and most people here would agree too that we would rather go for a solid axle if you're doing just all off-roading. That being said, like all of the quads that we have currently, except for the not a wheelchair, all have a differential. For right now at least. But yeah, we're doing a lot of testing right now that we're excited about, and we've been having some fun writing out these new quads that we've been building. So
A little bit later.
yeah.
We're excited to get into it.
Oh, yes, we are.
Let's talk about motors a little bit. A lot of our eQuads, electric eQuad, they come with motors. Do they have to? Do we offer quads that don't come with motors?
Yeah. So the eQuad, that's our platform, and those all have motors. They're pedal motor hybrids, and those all use a 1,000-watt mid-drive motor.
Sure.
Now with the Cat 4 conversions, you can get those without the motor. 90% of the ones we make we do put the mid-drive motor on the front. Yeah, it's more weight, bigger tires. Yeah, for sure. With the Nata wheelchairs, we use a 1,000-watt hub motor. Then we also have our new 4x4 eQuad that has 1,700-watt motors in each wheel. So that's 4 1,700-watt motors. So you could imagine how much more power those have, and
was pretty
what you
excited
can
when
go
those
and
came
do.
out.
Yeah. So, and right now we're kind of playing with the idea of doing a 2-wheel drive. We just came up with a 2x2, so it was 2 wheels or a pedal, and then the hub motors. So yeah, it's pretty interesting what you can play with, and they kind of have different pros and cons. Like the mid drives, they usually can go a little bit faster. They don't have reverse, however, but like all the hub motors and our 4x4 platforms, those have reverse. Quad conversion with a trike versus our eQuad. People go for these because it's kind of a car replacement for a lot of people. Like they can have a rack on the back where they can have a lot of cargo. With the eQuad, it has quite a bit bigger ground clearance on it compared to the trike conversion. So that's another big reason why people would order the eQuad. Yeah.
Easier to take in all these other off-road or semi-off-road places.
Even worth arguing, right? The seat height's a lot higher. I mean, getting in and out of a quad's a lot easier than getting out of a trike.
Right. Yeah. You know,
I mean, generally speaking,
down,
right?
Yeah.
Of course, the Cat Trikes, I mean, we're pretty similar. But specifically with our eQuad model, that's a pretty tall seat.
Yeah.
So that sits at like 22.
I mean, really the cool thing about the eQuad, I mean, it's our frame. This is our design, right? So we're pretty modular here. I mean, we're allowed to customize it. We are doing things to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we're always getting good feedback, and we take that into consideration. We kind of, as we go, we really fine tune stuff.
We've been improving the platform forever now.
Yeah.
There's always improvements, getting better.
Yeah.
We have new things coming out soon.
Yeah.
Very excited about it. I mean, I know we were holding off. I'm itching to get to it. The automatic EQuad that we have in the works.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's really cool. That's been the biggest thing we've been excited about. Yeah. It's been a lot of fun. It's a hub transmission that automatically shifts. And so it has no pedals. We have a mid-drive motor hooked up to it with we've been playing around with different sprockets so that we could really, because what we really want to get is like the most low gearing possible. So it's just really, you just feel really confident in its climbing ability. And as it is now, like it's been doing really good. But we're still kind of playing with
These are
the
teasers. I mean, I'm not saying this is ever going to come out. Or
so yeah, that's something that we're pretty excited about for sure. That we've been having a lot of fun. You can tell by everybody's reactions to it, riding it around the shop. Everybody's
We even had our shop owner, Ashley. He's been ripping around.
Yeah.
I think he's just been doing that for fun, though.
Yeah, actually been having some fun with it. We're also used to test riding these things that it's like when you have something that people are getting excited about, it's like,
it's nice to feel.
I think we're on to something.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Hayden, you said that this comes without pedals. Is this how it's always going to be with this updated platform?
We can absolutely put pedals on it. It's all customizable. So coming soon here, on the configurator, you'll be able to choose whether you want pedals or not. It's all modular like that. So we're really excited because it just gives a lot of options to really figure out what you want.
The quad of your dreams, perhaps.
Yeah. And what kind of riding you'll be doing. And we've really we think we've dialed in the gearing, how we like it. So yeah, it'll just really be up to what kind of riding you like to do.
Preference.
Yeah, for sure. You can really customize it to how you want. And so it could really be a pedal eQuad where you like a recumbent eQuad where you're pedaling around, or it could even be like a off-road wheelchair type device where you're just, even if you don't want to pedal, you can just get around and go get groceries or go off-road or do whatever else.
Getting more into that commuting or adventuring, we really want our eQuad platforms to be the platform that's the best for you, no matter what it may be. The word of the day has been eQuad platform.
Mm-hmm.
Can you dive a little bit into what we mean by that?
Yeah, for sure. So really it's a true platform in the sense that we have a lot of standardization going with how we attach things to the frame. We have multiple different rear ends that all are compatible and all bolt on the same way to the frame, whether it be a welded rear end with a differential, or the other rear end that has the solid axle. And then we also have been working on a rear end that attaches the same way, that has two hub motors in the back. So that's one way. And then also the way like we attach the batteries to the frame, the way we attach the rack, it's all really, we've made slight tweaks and improvements over time, but it's all standardized in the same way we mount everything. So it's really, and the front as well. So like depending on if you want pedals or not, you can just swap a different boom out, and it just slots right in. And same with like the spindles or the motor as well. Like we can attach a mid-drive motor to it, or a hub motor. So, and seats as well. So we have multiple different mounting options for seats. We have the upright seat and the recumbent seat, and it's just really there. So it's like, over time, if you wanted to, you could really build off of it.
Mm-hmm. And what I thought was really cool, right? I think of them as like truck models, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having 5 different trucks all built 5 different ways,
right?
We have one frame.
Yeah.
And we throw a different body on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can really build off of it.
You can switch, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, not that it's necessarily the easiest thing to do, but we can.
Yeah, for sure.
We've been modifying it.
Yeah, and there with the same frame, you can have a lot of different riding options and different gearing, whatever. There's a lot of different customization and configuration you can do with them.
We see it often enough with emails and calls of people that are really excited about the eQuad platform, so excited that they've actually customized it their own. I've had customers that have taken bucket seats from race cars and bolted those down to the eQuad, huge cargo containers, and putting those on the back as well. Really, we want this platform, even with what we can do, we want it to be yours too, to personalize it to however you want to ride it, whatever makes you comfortable.
Solar panels
as well, trailers, whatever. It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. We love it too, and we love to see it, what you guys are making with our builds.
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of that's kind of the hope and idea with it, is that people will kind of take it and customize it and do what they,
What I really
what they
want to do with it. Yeah.
It's kind of a,
I'm still waiting for the jetliner eQuad version. I haven't seen that yet, so that's the next challenge.
Make one take flight.
flying device.
Yeah, helicopter eQuad.
That'd be sweet.
So Hayden, we keep talking about the eQuad platform.
Mm-hmm.
The way I understand it, we had to redesign, make a new platform for the 4x4 specifically.
Yeah, so with the 4x4, we really wanted to get 4 high-powered motors onto it, so you could. It's our fastest. It's our fastest quad. It's our most capable. It's most powerful. With that, though, we really wanted to improve the suspension in the front specifically. So we really had to do a big redesign with the front end for the 4x4. With that said, you now have 2 shocks in the front that you're basically sitting on. So that gives you like 3 to 4 inches of vertical travel, which is a really big improvement over.
I think the standard eQuad was 1.25 inches.
Yeah, just in the spindles too. So with the 4x4, you can really fine tune the shocks as well. So you can tighten them. You could put heavier rated coils on them, even if you wanted a stiffer ride. So you can really, like how your weight is, you can really fine tune it and get it to be as soft as possible, or just get it to be really rigid.
The perfect ride.
Yeah. So, and there's a lot more articulation too with the front wheels as well. So just off-roading and climbing, it's just a lot better
than what we have now. With this new platform for the 4x4, are we only using that for the 4x4, or are we going to be using that for new builds?
Yes, yeah. So we actually have a new system that it's a 2x2 quad. So the front wheels will be hub motors in the front, but then in the rear, it'll be our standard eQuad pedal gearing. So the rear wheels will be pedal powered by the rider, and then the front wheels, so it'll be a hybrid of pedal versus electric power. But then that gives you the 4x4 platform. So that gives you exactly. Yeah. So that gives you a lot better vertical travel and articulation with the front end.
Those pedal assist, right? It's using that mid-drive motor. So it's not just...
it's just the rear wheels are full pedal power, and then the front wheels have the motors in them. So there's no mid-drive on this one.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm following.
So yeah, so you could pedal it around just on your own, just by your legs, and then you can use the front 2 hub motors to get you around if you need to.
What sort of max speed are we going to be looking for on this 2x2 where we're making?
On the 2x2, so yeah, we have in our hub motors for our 4x4s, we have 2 different versions. One version is the top speed is 30 miles an hour, so that one goes the fastest, so 30 mile an hour wheel, which is pretty crazy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's great. Only 30.
But the way hub motors work, so like the higher the RPM of the wheel, there's a trade-off with how much torque you're going to get. So the second version is a 20 mile an hour wheel, but then you get increased torque with it. So we're thinking like with off-roading and climbing big hills, it should help a lot. And so we're thinking with the 2x2 that the front wheels on that will be the 20 mile an hour wheels, because you would want that increased torque, and really like you're not going to be pedaling that thing, or
you want to make sure you're getting help while you're pedaling uphill. You want to have motors that can compensate.
You would definitely think the more torque, the better on that. So, and that'll be 2 different options that we can choose from too, depending on what people want. If they want to be able to get up to 30 miles an hour, if they're commuting, or they're just doing more off-road stuff. It just depends.
Lots of options.
It kind of leads back to what I said earlier. I mean, very modular. This is our platform, so we can do what we want to it.
Yeah, totally. There's no limitations, really.
Right.
Brayden and I have a whole show where we talk about trikes, and pretty much only trikes with the occasional quad reference here and there. You are on the ground working on these quads a whole week. Can you tell me why you love quads?
Yeah, for sure. So really compared to the trikes, we've mentioned this, but it has a lot more ground clearance. And then also with the four wheels, you don't have three tracks going behind you. So if you're going off-road, or you don't really have to worry about that as much, you can really straddle things and get over the top of a lot of stuff easier. That's probably the biggest thing I like, is just being more upright and being on top of stuff.
That extra wheel gives you a lot more traction.
Yeah.
I mean, it can't go understated how much these wheels are grabbing that ground.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You're always getting propelled.
Biggest thing, yeah, you have a whole other wheel now that's really giving you a lot of extra traction, and that's, yeah, you can't understate that for sure, especially going off-road, which is what we like to do the most.
But you keep saying it, off-road.
Yeah.
Off-road, off-road, off-road. And that's not necessarily their only use, but I do think they excel in off-road travel.
Yeah, for sure. And also another thing that's really great about them is they have the rear end, you can put racks on them to really customize them, so you can really fit a lot of stuff back there if you want. And I like that a lot, putting big cargo containers or whatever else back there.
Huge outdoor camping culture here in Utah, and that eQuad is kind of just an example of the culture that we have here, and able to be modular and able to go outdoors and take what you want and go camping, go out and really enjoy nature.
Yeah, for sure. And there's definitely still trade-offs between the eQuad and then like a quad conversion with a trike. Obviously, with the eQuads, they're quite a bit bigger. They're going to take up more space, so you got to think about being able to transport them or whatever else. We don't have any folding eQuads. You can't fold them up.
What?
Shove them in a corner.
There's no folding quads.
And,
Hayden, real quick, how would you fold that quad? If you could. Just, with ergonomically. Yeah, with a saw,
Yeah.
cut it into pieces.
cut it in half.
You would have to disassemble. I mean, if you're trying to make them smaller,
Yeah.
disassembly is the only way.
Yeah. They're more, especially with the 4x4. So our version of the 4x4 that goes 30 miles an hour, that needs 4 batteries on it to be running. So that in itself adds a lot of weight, including all the hub motors that are on it. So they're going to be quite a bit heavier than a quad conversion from a trike. Yeah, that's the biggest things is clearance. I like that a lot, and like just the traction really
The off-road
gives you what
usage,
you want. Yeah,
they're off-road monsters.
being able to transport stuff.
Right. For transporting these things, you're not left high and dry, right? We have the e-bike racks now, and those can take these eQuads,
Yeah.
even the 4x4s, and take those with you on the hitch receiver on the back of a car.
Well, I mean, what we're talking about trucks, right? I mean, it's not the only solution, but we've gotten them to fit in the better trucks all the time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, heavy, sure,
Yeah.
we do it all the time. Not to mention, if you wanted to get a trailer, they'll haul on a trailer.
Yeah, get yourself a little trailer for it. We see that all the time. Really, with the eQuad, it's big enough that you're not going to be able to fit it in the back of a minivan or SUV or something like that, which a lot of people with trikes or even the quad conversions will be able to fit it in their little SUV or something like that. But it's just the eQuad platform is just too big to be able to fit inside of a car from our experience.
I think that's more than fair to say.
Yeah.
Hey, I can feel your excitement just in generally talking about these quads. What are you excited for the most that's coming up or that you're working on currently?
Yeah, so right now we have been working on a few new things, which has been really fun. That's my favorite part, is kind of prototyping stuff and figuring it out and figuring out the gearing and stuff. But really, we've talked about it before, but the automatic shifting quad using the NVOLO hub has got me the most excited recently. Yeah, it's really fun. I like hearing the transmission shifting as you're riding
the whine.
it. And it's just I've been building NADA wheelchairs for a few years at this point, and so having something like that, it's like very similar, but it just seems to be more fun to ride.
Fun and more innovative.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, just kind of innovating and just really making tweaks and taking feedback and
I'm glad you saw that. I mean, we're all right around that Automatic EQuad, and the whole quad team's, brighter.
Yeah.
Everything's happier. We come back there and we're like, hey, this thing's awesome.
Yeah, it's really fun to be like, okay, we do these, we build these things every day. We have our bread and butter or whatever. But then when we have, okay, let's start coming up with something new. Yeah, let's innovate.
I can see all you guys beaming.
Yeah,
You're doing
we have a lot of fun doing that.
Your excitement makes us all excited here.
Mm-hmm. It rubs off.
Yeah. Hayden, we've been talking about all these new developments that we're working on. We're very excited about everything. When do you think these are all going to be released?
Yeah, so it's my understanding that within the next week or two, we're going to be doing some spotlight videos and getting our configurators on the website figured out. So yeah, really within the next week or two, just keep an eye out and we should be announcing what we've been working on.
Well, Hayden, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day from working on quads and talking with us a little bit here on the Trike Show. For you guys at home, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any more questions about quads or any cool builds, leave a comment below or email us, call us, go on live help. And Hayden, what should we remember to do?
Relax, spin fast, and ride quads.
Thank you guys. Have a good week.
Thank you.